Hi everyone, it's Diane. I have a mess over here. I'm at my sewing machine, and I have a mess here because I started working on the next project. It's a design team project for the old design shop, and I'm not going to go into a big long explanation of why this book is reserved for someone after I said that I wasn't going to do that. Just let me say that it was a previous commitment from September that I had forgotten about. And my sweet customer gently reminded me and said she didn't want to rush me. And I was like, well, you've been waiting since September, so I don't think there's any rushing here. So anyway, I was excited when she reminded me about this and that she wanted a farm theme with this journal. And then what I found on Old Design Shop, everything just worked together. So she reminded me at the perfect time. I needed to choose something for my design team project for the Old Design Shop, and what I found was just perfect for this, and I hope that you agree with me. So it's Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. My customer loves Shirley Temple, I think, is what she told me. This was back in September, this conversation. But rather than ask me to do a Shirley Temple journal, which I wasn't planning on doing, she thought maybe I could do a farm journal with this. And I was planning on doing farm journals, so I said that I would. And it's Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm by Kate Douglas Wiggin, and it is a lovely cover. Let me see. I have the title page because I'm going to include it somehow into the book. 1904, published October 1903, but right here it says 1904. So it's an old book. And so I'm just going to show you what I'm going to use in it. I have this paper pack from Hobby Lobby. It's their brand, the Paper Studio, called the Blue Barn. I believe I got this when it was on clearance because I had looked at it before and didn't buy it. And when I saw it on clearance, I picked it up. So I got a good deal on it, and it's perfect for this journal, so I'm glad that I got it. And I'll still have some to use for future farm journals, because I have a lot of farm journals I want to make. So I'll be using that. I have that on the front of each signature. This one I removed because I was working on putting the pocket on it. I also have coffee dyed papers, of course. The Old Design Shop, I don't have like a digital journal kit. It is ephemera pieces. So I'm making decorations for the pages. I have these illustrations out of a vintage children's book, which are perfect. They're children feeding the lambs, the calf, drinking the milk, shearing the lamb, playing with the hay, and riding a horse. And so they're great. I'm gonna have fun using those. And I had punched these out of a book. I don't even remember what book it was. I had used the book cover. Oh, Pioneers. That's what it was. I read the book. I love that book. You should read it, by Willa Cather. I've read it a couple times. So these kind of things were at the beginning of each chapter, so I punched them out. So I'll be using them in this journal. The Old Design Shop has a lot of different flashcards. So I of course, chose the farm ones, so I have a bunch of these to use in the journal. I did get the journal, or it's not a journal kit, it's a vintage farm kit, and there's black and white images like this. There's a lot of them. I haven't printed them all, and I didn't bring them all over, but there's animals too, cows and horses and whatnot. And then I selected individual images. So these are all together in one kit, and these are individuals. And I printed them in a couple different sizes. So I have these sheep, which are really cool looking. I know they're not. I don't think these are in the United States. Then there's, again, That's why the book page illustrations were perfect, but because these are what I chose from Old Design Shop, Children on the Farm. This little girl is drinking the fresh milk. They're feeding the chickens. And these are all by an artist. They're signed C.M. Bird, B-U-R-D. Looks like little twin girls feeding the cow, the ducks, or the geese. So these images are adorable. And then I got this cow too. I think it's a Jersey cow. And a little boy with the bunnies. That is adorable. So I don't have Photoshop. So to do the individual pictures, I printed 4 or 9 on a page. But they're all the same image. If I knew how to put 4 different images on one page, I would. So I have enough to make at least 4 journals. So if I make good progress on this and make good time, then I have these other covers pulled. Reader's Digest cover and this very vintage cover. I've used this kind of cover before. There's a series of these books at the flea market that I go to. So this is at least the 3rd one. And I sold one too. A book cover, I mean. There might be another 1 or 2 there. So I would put some of these lovely images on the front of the book and make it into a farm journal if I have time to do that. The other things I'm going to use in the book are these household labels that I recently found at a flea market. I did scan these into my computer so I can make copies for myself. I don't know how to share them, but I'm going to try to learn. So these are really great. Let me show you what I did with one so far. You can see they just look like old country labels that a farm housewife would use. And there's also labels in there for, you know, canning your vegetables and your jellies and things like that. I have some vintage fabrics. I'm going to be using some feed sack fabrics. Since I have so many feed sack fabrics, I should not make a farm journal without using feed sack fabrics, right? And I have this linen dish towel or something with this, looks like it's painted on, like hand painted on, but I thought that was really cute. So it might be too big for this journal. It might be better in one of the other journals if I make it. But even this kind of thing, the border, would be great in a farm journal. And what else do I have in fabric? This was vintage fabric, these little farmhouses. There's a schoolhouse and there's a farm. So I have several pieces of that. They were cut into these rectangular pieces, and I have quite a few. Oh, more than I thought. And I have this, got some things mixed up with it. Some paper ribbon. It's fabric ribbon actually, but it's stiffened. And somebody sent this to me. And I have this, which was also sent to me. Love this. And this one. Oh, this is a fabric. Sunflowers on gingham. Christy from Ooh La La Crafts sent this to me. And I absolutely love this. So I put it in with my farm things. Could also go in a garden journal, of course. And I believe someone sent this to me also. It's quite a big piece of fabric with a lot of different chickens on it. So I'm all set for fabrics for this journal. I also have lots of trims and rickracs and things like that. So I think I have what I need. All I need now is the ideas to go ahead and make these. I don't remember where these came from. They're a digital that I purchased. I'm trying to remember, but I can't remember. So they're cute. And I have this one too. There's something about chickens. I love to eat chicken. I just bought a nice roasting chicken at the grocery store so I can make chicken and biscuits, but I love to eat chicken. But there's something about the graphics of chickens. I love the way they look. I don't know. I grew up on a farm, kind of. I grew up in the country with a barn, and my dad and grandpa had cows. And they had chickens way back before I remembered. My dad had a chicken coop. I don't remember it, but I've heard stories. And we had a lamb. I might as well tell this story while I work. I found this page while I was showing you the fabrics, the missing page of this cover. There it is. So I have the front page is done. I just have to put one of the labels there. We had a lamb when I was very, very little, and I do not remember it, but there is a famous story in my family of me and this lamb. And we lived on a very steep hill, like in the middle of the hill. And like I said, it was out in the country, back in the good old days. And I would play in the front yard with the lamb, and I think it had a fence around it. The yard had a fence around it, some kind of a fence. That fence was gone by the time I was old enough to remember. I remember just playing in the yard a lot, but no fence. But anyway, because we had a lamb, there was a fence out there. And I would play out there, and the lamb would knock me over with his head. He would just butt me and knock me over. And you know, when toddlers are down and they want to get up, they put their hands down and their butt up in the air to get themselves up. So the lamb, when I got to that position, would come and butt me down again. And it didn't hurt me. It was just playing. And my mother would just watch as I just got up over and over again as the lamb knocked me down. Well, one day, the lamb got out of the fence somehow, and I followed it. I went running after it. And my mom, of course, was keeping an eye on me, and she took off after us, and we were going downhill. So she's running after me and the lamb. I'm going to start doing some fabric flips while I'm talking. So she's running down the hill, calling for me to stop. And I couldn't stop because I was on a steep hill and going downhill, and I couldn't stop. She said she was watching my little legs churning and my curls bouncing as she's running after me. And a car started coming down the hill, and it slowed down next to my mother, and the driver rolled down his window and sang "Mary Had a Little Lamb" to her. She was not amused. I don't know what happened after that. Obviously, I was safe and the lamb was okay and everybody was okay, but that's the famous story of Diane and the lamb in my family. I wish I could remember that lamb. I'm sure I would have liked it. I had a piece of this already cut to size to do a flip with it, and I don't know where I put it. I think I got that far and then decided I would do a video. So, I guess I'll just make another one. Looks about right. I've got so many fabric pieces plus the V-tack fabric that my problem is going to be which one to use, not what am I going to use. It's just which one. So that's the little farm one. I have this, looks like denim ribbon with a blue or red binding on it, so that's cute. I don't really want to cover it up with anything else, so maybe I'll just put a little doily piece on it or something. Like I usually will layer 2 pieces of fabric, but I don't want one bigger than this, and I don't want to cover this one, so I think I'll just use that pretty little piece of lace. So I prepared my bundles of laces and ribbons that came from flea markets. I've got them all sorted and bagged. They're just going to be kind of like grab bags. And I had done that a week or so ago, but I was just worn out, and I had a lot of journals that I was selling all at once. Sorry, let me move this a little bit. And I didn't want to list them before I was ready to, you know, start packing and mailing them. I had other things that I had to mail first. So hopefully today or tomorrow I will get those lace and ribbon grab bags listed in my shop, but I will do a video and let you know when they're available. I have lots of things to get listed still before flea market season starts again, so I really have to get busy. So after I do, I have bags of lace, and I have bags of ribbons and rickracs and things like that. And I have a few bags of eyelet lace and a little, I think there's really wide eyelet. I don't know if it's fabric, but it's very wide for a lace. And is that it? I think so. So what would you want to see after that? I have wallpaper and I have wrapping paper. I also have book covers and books. Oh, there's that piece. I already had it in place. Well, that's awesome. I have vintage kids cards, like playing game cards. I have glitter and sequins and stuff like that. That's vintage. This is kind of a burlappy braided thing, so that's pretty cool. What else do I have? There's a big pile in that room, so there's got to be stuff in there. I'm like looking at it thinking, what do I have to list yet? It's in the room that used to be my husband's office, and I now term it the library because I have bookshelves in there, but it's more storage for flea market stuff at the moment. So anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna list next after I do the laces and ribbons. There's a cute little doily on there. Of course, all this fabric doesn't have to be used. I don't have to use every type of this fabric in this journal because I've got more to come. I've got some journal kits, farm journal kits that I had purchased already from other sellers. Because, like I said, I'm a country girl and I love the farm images, and I haven't made a farm journal yet. I don't know what took me so long. I'm just drawn to this stuff. I used to play in the barn with my brothers. I was not a tomboy. Definitely not. I've got to take this jacket off. I was a girly girl, but I did have fun playing in the barn with my brothers. We would go on the upper level of the barn and walk around on kind of like rafters. Yeah, we would walk on the rafters, and I would do it even though I was terrified, just because I wanted to hang out with my brothers who were older than me. And they used to get me to play school out there. I'm a born teacher. I didn't go to college to be a teacher, but I teach Bible at my church, and I homeschooled my kids for a couple of years, and I like to teach. And I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to play teacher. I wanted to play school. So my brothers and my younger sister and I, and my brother's friend Eddie, we would set up a schoolhouse in the barn, and then my brother's plan was to act up and be naughty, like they didn't do in real school. I think they were pretty well behaved in school, but with me as their teacher, it was their opportunity to misbehave, and they did. And I would chase after them, because I would turn my back to write on the blackboard, and then they would disappear, and then I would chase after them and never catch them, of course. They were older than me, and I would get frustrated. So then the next time they would beg me to go out and play school with them again, and I would say no, because you're just going to run away, and we promise we'll be good, we promise we'll be good. And I always compare it to Charlie Brown and Lucy and the football, because I always fell for it. I always believed they were going to be good, and never once were they good. And we still laugh about it. It's a good thing we can laugh about it. I have a lot of good memories of playing in that barn. My brothers set up a haunted house out there one year for Halloween, just for us. Didn't invite anybody else. It was just, they did it for, they had 4 younger sisters, so they had a lot of girls to scare. And we had a pond that we could ice skate on. My grandfather had a bigger pond, and he was just down the road from us. So usually we skated on his pond. We have had a lot of good memories out there in East Smithfield, Pennsylvania. And it wasn't a one-room school. But the kindergarten and the high school and everything in between were all contained in one building. There was, they were 2 separate buildings, but they were connected by a long hallway. So it was a small school. But it's what I grew up with. Alright, that was a lot of talking to get a little bit of fabric down on there. Now I want to do something with my feed sack fabrics. I was thinking of wrapping something around the side. The edge of the page. This is not straight, but I'm not gonna fix it. I don't care. I like it that way. So I'm just wrapping it around the edge, and I'm going to zigzag it, and then I'll sew something else to it. I should leave some strings. This is a kind of journal I can leave strings on. These feed sack fabrics came from Jennifer at Fabric Thread Needle, except for this. These 2 pieces I got at a flea market. I think I'll use this one. It's got a little flower. It's already cut out. How do I want to do it? Maybe just like that. I told you in a video I did last week that I was going to go to a painting class on Saturday, followed by a Stampin' Up! Party. So I did enjoy the painting class. It's one of those, you know, where everybody does the same painting. We did, it was like a wood grain background with a mason jar with flowers in it. And I had fun. My painting turned out pretty good, I guess. I have it. I don't have it up here. I can't show it to you. I guess that's good enough for that one. And it was fun. There were 13 of us there, so it was a full table. And everybody seemed to enjoy it. Everybody's critical of their own work, of course. And the Stampin' Up! Party was great. I can't wait to show you. They had a new... What page do I want? They had a new suite. They have themed suites in their catalogs, and so they'll have stamps and dies and fabrics, and not fabrics, pattern paper, and you know, the colors of different things to go with that suite. And so their new suite that I fell in love with immediately was needlepoint something suite, and so the papers look like, it's like they're photographs of embroidery and other kinds of needlework, and it looks like you could reach out and feel that texture. At least from what I could see in the catalog, that's what it looks like. I'm not trying to do a flip. I'm trying to do, well, I could do a flip here because I like that. Anyway, so I bought the paper, and I didn't realize till I got home that it was 6x6 paper, which was disappointing because it'll be too small to use as pages in my journals. I can use it as smaller pages, of course, but I like it enough. I would have gotten it anyway if I had realized. And I got the stamps and the dies that go with the stamps to match, and I don't normally do that, but that was just a set that I loved enough that I wanted to do that. This little piece of green rickrack was just lying there. I used that in my previous journal, the Kate Greenaway journal, but I like it. I think I'll put a little bit of lace here. Let me see what I have in here. My son-in-law said that he would put some shelves above my sewing machine for me, so now I just have to go to Lowe's and find the shelves that I want. I have to measure my space to make sure I don't get it too big, and that way I can put all of this stuff on shelves, and that will make my workspace so much better, and then I'll never want to move. I love this very vintage filet crochet piece. Love it. I hate to use it because it's just so gorgeous and old. It's all aged. The color is aged. I'm talking a lot today. Usually I think I'm too quiet. And I woke up with a sore throat and a headache, so I'm hoping I'm not going to get sick. So all this talking is not doing my throat any good. I haven't been sick all winter, which is good. Well, we're half an hour in, so I'm going to stop the video and do a little more work, and I don't know if I'll turn it back on. I think I need to rest my throat. But thanks for hanging out with me. Basically, I just wanted you to see this fun project that I'm working on because I'm so excited about it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.